What's up, agents, and welcome back to another Division video. Shock, it's me again with another PTS TU22 video, but there is so much to go through. And this is one that I have been dying to make. I really wanted to get a whole bunch of certain videos out of the way because they're the more popular topics. But I wanted to make one on the 1886. When I finally got here, I'm like, yes, this is one that I really wanted to try for my own personal benefit as well as the channel's. And as you can see, it got a significant buff all the way up to 429880 from 342247. And that is a significant buff. They also give us an extra 3 rounds in the mag, which great because it's single loading. They did make the reload speed slower, but they give us, you know, a good optimal range boost as well. So, all right, that's good. So, what does that look like on paper? So if we want to look at it on paper, and this is just sorted by burst DPS only, you can see we are right at the top, and that is purely because of how hard it hits, right? The base damage is huge, absolutely huge. Following, you know, the M16's in there, which I hate the way that fires. I still don't think I'll want to use that. But then obviously followed by the M1A variants and things like that, which makes absolute sense. There is next to no difference between these bad boys whatsoever. So we would always expect the 1886 to be at the top of that chart because of its nature of the gun that it is. Now, when I put it together, I put this together, right? And I usually think I'm losing damage when it comes to the Ninja bike. And there is a massive caveat to this. For this to work, I had to pump up the damage for the expertise to be level 20 or more. So there is like an expertise caveat to this. But the reason I pumped it all the way up to 27, because I think it proves a point where this patch expertise is actually important, because I showed it with the chatterbox in that video. The chatterbox is wild. And I've got another chatterbox video coming with Umber Initiative. And I think that before in the game, you know, we've been powerful enough to just kind of be, you know, expertise 10 to 15 and everything's okay. It doesn't really matter. If you're more than that, great. If you're not, it really doesn't matter. But we've got issues with the, well, not issues, but we've got new features coming with the new seasonal buffs and things like that. And what I've noticed in the game with the gear that we've got and things like that and the other buffs, that actually now with expertise, we can stretch these weapons a lot further for our own ease, right? So I pushed it. It's at 1.3 mil, right? And we can do this obviously with other guns. You know, there's the M700 and things like that we've always been able to do this with. But I've extended the mag to 9 by using these gloves. And I've also used double the gear set because we get weapon handling, rifle damage, and magazine size. And what I've realized is I can shoehorn so much weapon handling into the build now from various means, that when I empty the magazine, let's turn the game up a little bit. Watch this. I can be reloaded in seconds, and I have not had to drop any real damage to get to that point, because I've got so much damage and expertise now. I can replicate, and I can replace that damage. So sadly, I can't kill an elite with 2 shots. I was really hoping I could get it that far, but I can't. And that's a shame. But once I activate our good friend Headhunter and Determined, that is it. It is game over for the game. Absolutely game over. And you haven't even seen it crit yet. There we go. And if you look at them damage numbers at the bottom, if you can't see, that's 22.5 million that crit hit for. The standard hits are hitting for 21.5 million. And this gun has 0 recoil. This is easier to use than an M1A. Now, I've not tried it out and about yet, but I'm just thinking that this seems pretty wild that I can do this and reload and be that happy. On a secondary note, the Ravenous is absolutely poop with this kind of setup. I don't use it. It seems crazy to me. It seems absolutely crazy. I'm going to put my M1A on as my secondary. And I don't know if the M1A actually can one pop with this setup either. Let's see. No, it can't. Okay, so that requires a very different setup. But let's go give it a go, right? What have I got to lose? So in the practice room and in the DPS sheets, this is wild. Like, this is absolutely wild. But it makes me think that, you know, even more so now, that expertise essentially is going to become an issue that they're going to have to deal with.
We need you to secure the memorial and remove the True Sun's forces.
And a lot of people put a lot of effort into expertise. It takes a long time to get there. They would have to be very, very, very careful how they did that. Did I put it on heroic? Hang on, isn't there a named 1886 with the perfect boomerang on? That would be wild. Also, what's this guy doing? And it's so easy to hit the headshots with. Did I put it on heroic? Is it just that easy that I'm not?
Agent, you'll need to find a way to open that gate.
I put it on like I'm on normal or something. No, we're on heroic. The mission's on heroic. Okay, that's good. My world is on normal, by the way, for just running around ease and from testing the global modifiers. What's strange about them is that you can unlock them on normal. Right, let's plow through the gate. I really need to see it against some in-game elites, right? Obviously, we can plow through the reds and purples all day long, right? You know, what's funny is it's not really an issue if you miss a shot because it hits that hard that... Just shoot through the fire. It just seems wild that I can do this with an 1886. And I really don't know if they're ever going to change Determined. It feels like it's kind of here to stay as it is now. It doesn't really ever feel like that's ever going to get changed, but maybe it's something we have to learn to live with. I know a lot of people don't like it. I mean, if you quick off the mark with a mouse and keyboard, like... Oh, this is wild. This is wilder than I thought. Where'd that guy go? Alright, so I can't one-pop the major. That's why I was kind of hoping then that I was going to pop him and his helmet was going to break. That's a shame. Oh, we got him 2 shots though. Major, thank you for the headshot. It's just wild, and there is some clear investment to get to this good, but this is what PTSs are for, right? We can test what's going to be really, really good, and you can see that in the, you know, in the bit thing that I was hitting for 22.5 in a real life scenario, not just in the range. You know, 18.3, like it was really happening. What we seeing in the range was really happening. Yeah, and it's just wild because I can build so much there's no survivability in this whatsoever, but I can build so much weapon handling in that using this gun is absolutely fantastic. So obviously determined damage to target out of cover. We use the ninja bike, which usually is a bit of a downfall, but in this it was a massive, massive uplift, and that's because we got to get 3-point breaking point bonuses, which give us rifle damage, headshot damage, which works perfectly for this, and then 15% weapon handling, which is what we really do need. You can see there I'm just running headshots all the way. For the holster, weapon damage and headshots all the way. I put foxes on because it gives us rifle damage, accuracy. It doesn't really need it, but we get it anyway. And then we get damage to target out of cover and headshot damage again. And then these two really are an absolute masterstroke to go with the breaking point, because we get the Eagle's Grasp, right? And throughout the brand set, we get magazine size, which is great to have some extra bullets in this thing, 20% rifle damage, and then another 30% weapon handling on top of the 15% weapon handling that gives us here. And that makes the reload speed, I think it's 1.9 seconds. I'll check in a second. With weapon damage and headshot damage, and then the chest piece, weapon damage, weapon handling, again 8% more weapon handling there, headshot damage, and headhunter. I did run a chain killer here to test it out, but I found that I could squeeze in even more squeezing in the weapon handling was worth it. Now, if you run a chain killer, you don't have to put your expertise on the gun up quite so high, but you have to deal with a bigger reload, and at that point then it starts losing its shine because the reload becomes slow. You can see here, we can scroll down here, the reload is 1.95 seconds, which is really, really good. But it just kind of, it was definitely worth making the video about, because it just kind of proves that, you know, if you put the efforts in with some of this stuff, this is not using, you know, an Ouroboros, this is not using strikers, this is not using any of the sets that have been, you know, nerfed or anything like that. But this is in the game right now. Yes, okay, the 1886 isn't as powerful as what it's going to be in the game right now, but you know, the 27 expertise on some of these guns is absolutely wild. So yeah, and they could, I fully expect that, you know, they could not buff the 1886, and if we put it to level 27 in the game, even as it is now, this would still work, because like I said, from level 20 this started to work. So I only put it up to 27 to test how far I can really push it. So buffs or nerfs or whatever, this is actually, this is, you know, this is in the game right now, you know, not just in the PTS. So it just depends how devoted you are to pushing the expertise up on a build like this. If you wanted to look at the stats, we're at 205% headshot damage. The crit chance and crit chance do not matter, so that's pretty wild. And when it comes to the mod slot, I just put an extra 20% reload speed in there, because that is really, you know, what we needed. Nothing else really mattered. Get in as much reload speed as possible and it can produce something really special. Attack 50 for the extra stability, and also rifle damage spec'd into it. But that's going to be it for the video. I hope you've enjoyed the PTS videos. I am coming to the end. It ends tomorrow morning. It's nearly 10 PM for me now. I've got a couple more that I want to try and get on the channel. I'm really sorry if I didn't get to one of your videos. I will try and get to it depending on changes for the PTS that I think we're going to get next weekend. I think this will be a 2-phase PTS at least. Let me know in the comments down below if there's anything you want me to try when that rolls around, or if I can try and squeeze it in tonight, I will do. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Follow me over on X and join my community Discord. The links are in the description, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.